Recording the presentation.
Okay.
So again, we're recording this presentation. This is a webinar on loan management and investment management for Dynamics SL. Your presenter today is Carolyn Jasilowitz, and I'm turning it over to Carolyn now to start your demo.
Good afternoon. So we're going to take a look at the loan management system first. Both loan management and investment management are integrated systems. They reside within the Dynamics SL system, and the menus and screens, lookups, customization, security, everything is exactly like it is in Dynamics SL. Today we're going to be starting by just taking a look at the setup screen. Here in the setup screen you have options, for example, to lock your period, to set how you will post your reference numbers. You have custom fields that you can set up, and you have many different options for how things will calculate and look. For example, aging categories, special groups for posting data, and just many different options. Here is also where you can set up our web portal that links with LMS, and I will show you that as well. Within loan management, when you get the system, comes with several different payment codes. For example, a code for issuing principal. Here you can set up your default debit and credit accounts. There are many of these codes that come with the system, but you have the ability to add new ones. You can have as many different codes as you want, and they can be structured however you want. We have many different code screens that allow you to group your loans. The most important of these is the loan type. This governs how your loan will actually work. For example, whether it would be a loan payable or receivable, what type of amortization schedule we have, end of term, fixed principal, a normal mortgage with late interest, actual payments, flat rate, many different options here, including add-on and custom schedules. Here you can set up a multi-currency. You can set up the different statuses that you're going to allow on your loan. You can have as many different statuses as you want. If you want to override the GL accounts where things are posting, you can do that here, as well as add any default charges that happen when a status changes. For example, if you had a loan closing fee, you could have it automatically add whenever the status changes to active. Now, within the system, we do have many other code screens, just a few of those, sectors and regions. All of our code screens are designed to allow you to group your loans and to do analysis on your loans. You can set these up with as many different codes, and you can rename them and use them however you want. Within the loan management system, we do have a client hub. If your loans are with individuals or businesses, you can set them up in the client hub. This allows you to track all of their demographic information as well as their login for the web portal if you're using that. You can set up links to accounts payable and accounts receivable with the customer here. And then you can set up different addresses, contacts, related parties, and organizational groups. This allows you to link the loan and investment systems so that if you need to use both, if someone is investing money with you and then you're loaning that money, you can do that, and this allows you to track both those and link them to individuals. Now, within this system, you also have the ability to set up owners. Owners allow you to be able to have multiple owners for a loan. So if a loan needs to be split by GL account 50-50 between two owners, you can do that. You can also determine your payment order. You can tell the system if principal gets paid first or interest or whatever, you can set all that up. It can be customized down to the individual loan level. Now we're going to take a look at the loan screen. The loan screen is where you would enter all of your information for your loan. This top part here will either be based on I've got a loan payable. If it was a loan receivable, it would show the information for that, but the information is very similar. Here we have the address information. If you're Using the Client Hub, you can pull the client here and it will pull this information in for you. The credit type defaults from the loan type, but you can override it. Some of the codes that I've selected. Down here we see a status of the current amounts on our loans. So I can see what has been paid, what's outstanding, and what's due. This information here gives me interest on my interest, when it was last accrued and posted. And then I also have what is my current payment and the last date someone paid me. At the bottom, I would have my credit information and my guarantor information. We also have a loan application module that you can use if you want to have more extensive credit information. The next tab, Loan Origination, allows us to track the information that's going to start our loan. For example, how much am I authorized and how much have I initially borrowed? Was there any kind of a deposit? Then we have the different dates, the date I gave them money and the date I want interest to start. These two dates don't have to be the same. Payment frequency, monthly, weekly, quarterly, yearly, many different options exist. My terms to maturity, and what day each month it will be due. And then calculate the first payment and the loan maturity date automatically. For interest type, we can do term interest, 365 or 360. You can do payment grace days if you're going to allow people to pay late, like within the first 10 days and not incur late interest, you can do that. We can also do revolving credits as well as late fees. The Accounting Information tab tracks information, for example, on currency, the vendor and customer. You would have information for project here. The last date an audit was done. If you're linking to our fixed asset system, that would be here as well. And you can also override the payment codes here so that you can specify different debit and credit accounts at the actual loan level. Charges would show up here. And then your custom fields would show up here on the other information. If you're using our escrow module, you would have information on escrow as well. Now, if loans are related together, you can put in a relation code, and this allows you to group them on different reports. Within the loan, we have an interest schedule. Here you can put in the different interest rates that your loan is going to have. You can have multiple entries here. You can change to 0% interest. You can change the payment. You can change even the type of schedule. We also do index loans, so if you want to tie it to an index and update that on a regular basis, you can. The system can calculate your payment amount, or you can override that and put in a fixed payment amount. Once the interest information is in, an amortization schedule is generated. This is the actual schedule of the amortization, which shows you what is basically due on each pay period. It would show you what is left unpaid as well. As people make payments, the actual schedule is updated. This is also where if you were setting up a custom schedule, you would be able to do that, as well as print the schedule if you want to be able to do that. We have several other different buttons here that allow you to do things like see the loan totals. So you can see the month, year, last year, and life to date, as well as the date of the last transactions for every transaction type. If there was, as the status of the loan changes, we do show you that here, so you have an audit trail of who changed the status. If multiple owners exist, that would be here in the ownership, and you can see you can key that information in. You can see the detailed transactions. You can look for a particular period or year or payment type, and that information is here as well as the ability to print it. If you need to attach loan documentation or other information, you can do that using our File Attach product that is built into LMS. Just clicking the button will allow you to see that information. You can use a scanner to scan it as well. So all of that information is available here. Now, to make transactions, you would use the buttons here to do payments, distributions, write-offs, or payoffs, or you can do that through the menu, and that's what we're going to do here today. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to process a loan payment. When I go into the system, if I go from the loan screen, it will know my loan, but since I entered from the menu, it's not. I see a quick snapshot of what is going on with my loan, what is my balance, and what is my current payment. It can either default to today's date or it can default to the next payment date. You have that option. And we have both the transaction date and the effective date. This allows us to handle that grace period. Here you can see again we're multi-currency. I'm going to select my currency. Once I have this information in, I'm just going to auto apply. This will go out and calculate interest and apply to principal and interest. I then complete and post. I can add fees here as well as do several other things like manually entering payments. Now if I've posted a payment, I have the option of, if it's something wrong, I can reverse it, or if I have the proper rights and authorities, I can delete it. I also have options. If I get in a payment and say someone's paying additional principal, I can do that. If they're going on vacation and they're sending in an early payment, I can force it to apply to the next payment. All of the buttons that were available on the loan screen here for amortization schedule and totals and transactions are here to allow you to look at things if you need to. You can also print a receipt. So I'm just going to save this. Now the next screen would be our loan transaction screen. All transactions that affect loans will come here. This screen allows you to see those transactions, to see the debits and credits, as well as if they were posted, you would see that information here. This screen is also used to enter write-offs, to be able to post additional issues of principal. Any of those things can be done here. Batches can also be reversed as well as printed in this screen. Some other options you have for entering payments are our AP/AR interface. For example, if this was a loan payable, let me put some dates in here at 01/31, and I loaded the information, it would find any payments that were due during the period that I specify here. It could then shows you the principal and interest that's due, and you can update this information if you need to. And when you process, it will create vouchers for you in accounts payable. If you select receivable, it would then create invoices in accounts receivable. You also have the option if, for example, you have ACHs that come in, you can use this to pull in the ACHs via the import and do the LMS transactions only. So that doesn't go to the payable or receivable, it just basically creates your transactions for you. It's also a nice way to process bulk payments if you have a lot of different payments in a day. You can select which ones you're doing here on the left. We also have a payroll deduction interface. If you're processing loans for your employees, you can put that information here. Now, after you have done your payments and everything for the month, you're going to want to run your interest calculations. Interest calculations here are done in the screen. You can do a specific type or a loan number. You load the information. It'll show you all the information. You can select individual items or do all of them, and you calculate the interest. Interest is also calculated each and every time you do a transaction, as well as it can be done nightly on the server if you don't want to ever have to do this process. If you're cash basis, that's as far as you go. If you do want interest accruals, you would run the post accruals process. So another option that you have would then be to post the information to the general ledger. That would happen here in the posting screen. This would post all information to the GL. You can select individual items, and you can even have it create a batch per day if you want to. We also have an option for closing your loan. When you go in to close your loan, you simply select the loan and the payoff date. It will then update the information and put it in the system in the appropriate buckets. If you need to write something off, so if they weren't paying the entire amount, if you change the amount, it'll put it in the write-off, and then you just select the write-off code. So it makes it very easy for you to be able to close your loans. You can also use this to print and generate a closing statement. We also have a pre-loan calculator. With this, as you key in amounts, it will go ahead and it will calculate, what your payment amount, et cetera, will be able to be for the different types of loans, and you can print that as well. I'm going to say no. Okay. We also have several utilities. We allow you to delete your loans if you need to, change the numbers, delete specific transactions, restructure, lots of different options. And there is an audit file option where it can track each and every change to the different files if you want to do that. Next, I'm just going to give you a brief description of the reports. We'll be happy to send you a copy of the manual that has a printout of all the reports. They are crystal reports. You can modify them just like you can any standard SL report, and the interface is just like the standard SL with the sort and select. So we have a loan information, a loan trial balance, payment schedules, interest paid received, a payment receipt, several different formats of that, cash projection. Now this takes the payment schedule and it looks at what principal and interest is due and gives you date by date what you should expect your cash balance or cash needs to be. Payment reports showing you payments that came in. Age delinquency, it gives you your aging. Interest income or expense if you're accrual basis. We have several different forms of statements and multiple items within here. Daily payment will show you the daily amounts that have come in. A rolling loan, this gives you the beginning balance, issues, payments, write-offs for both the interest and the principal account. This is a nice rolling report for whatever period you select. Loan loss, this helps calculate if you have delinquencies what your loan loss percentage will be. Receding report, loan insurance. If you're requiring insurance for your loans and they're expiring, you can see that information. Rate adjustments, this handles the indexes and things. Payroll deductions. Cashier's report, so if you have someone taking payments, you can use this report for them to cash out. Year-end 1098. Of course, we have batch reports and transaction reports just like you have in the other modules. A loan account input, this is a blank form that allows you to collect the data to input into the loan. And then several different analysis reports as well as a maturity report. This gives you an aging of the loans as they're coming mature. Now, we do have code reports for the codes in the system as well as ownership reports for many of the reports that are up here. We actually have quite a few more that are on my menu right now. And this just breaks down all the different loan balances by ownership. Val, would you rather me take questions as we go along or wait till the end?
We can take questions on loan management now. So if anybody has any questions on the loan management software, if you can enter it into the chat, we will answer them for you. Or I think there's a questions section. I don't see that anybody's entering anything, so I guess we can just keep going, and then if anybody has questions at the end, we can answer, we can go back to this as well.
Okay. Hello?
Still there.
Hello? Okay. My monitor just left, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but hopefully we'll just slide these over to the side. And so the next thing I just want to briefly show you is our LMS Web Portal. How can I get rid of this? I can't really. Let's see if I can scoot this down. LMS Web Portal allows people to log in and look at the status of their loans. I happen to have several loans assigned to me. If they had a payment that was coming due, it would show here. The amortization shows here. They even have the option to see their payment history, to download and print reports, as well as to make a payment here within the system. So they can look at their demographic information, just a lot of different options that they have, and this can be customized. We have several clients that have customized this. The one I'm in, they've customized this to link to other systems. So there's some different options that you have for that. Your logo would display up here as well as the name of that you want them to see. I just don't have that set up. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, let us know. We can give you that information as well. So next what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our investment system. Investments is very closely linked to loan management. You don't have to have both products. We have many clients that have each individual ones, but we have quite a few clients that also have both. Just as we had a setup screen, here we have that in investments. Many different options here. For example, calculating interest on the purchase date, yes or no. Auto numbering things, different options for rounding, and how you're going to calculate things like amortization. Is it going to be on a 365-day basis or 360? So just a lot of different options here for how your calculations are going to work. Next, we're going to look at our transaction type. Investments also comes with many different transaction types. If you decide not to use a transaction type, you can just change it to inactive. This can link in with Cash Manager with an entry type. And here you can see the debit and credit amounts here as well, the accounts. So this is the default for those amounts. Next, we're going to take a look at the transaction types. What I just did, sorry. I mean the investment types. Here we go. So investment types allow you to group your different investments. I'm going to take a look at a bond. Here you can set up the defaults. For example, how often is my interest paid, if it's paid or capitalized. I can set up, monthly, quarterly, yearly, all the different options. If I want, and I don't want people to be able to change these on the actual investment, I can lock that down so people can't change those and make data entry errors. I can set a default rate. I can set my number of days interest. Of course, I have 30, 360, 360, 365, and actual 365. Investments can automatically renew, and you can set that here. Again, they can be receivable or payable investments, and you can either calculate interest from a purchase date or trade date. If this is a stock type investment, you would select your share costing, whether it be FIFO or average. So you have many different options here, as well as setting the GL accounts for different types of investments. You can do that here as well. Investments also uses the Client Hub. I won't show it to you again. You can use that to tie investments into individual people. It also uses the sectors and regions and some of the different codes that we saw before. Additional codes they have are things for custodians and if the investments are pledged. You can also check if your investment is with a broker or you have an advisor. You can track that information here as well. And advisors can actually be paid a commission either on an average balance or actual transaction if you want. Those are options as well. I'm going to jump right into the investment screen here. Here you will be able to see all the different investments. This one that I've selected is a bond. In the top here I have the information of who the investment is for. I can put the CUSIP information. Then I have all my different codes that I've set up. In this section I see the actual investment amount. Now if this was a stock investment I would have several more fields for me to enter stock information, but the screen changes for each and every one. I can do premium or discount, purchase interest, and net commission for bond types. Down in this section I see a current synopsis of what has happened. For example, what was my starting investment? Have I added something or capitalized? What's been redeemed? And what is my current value? This is based on market value, and we can talk about that as well. Here we have all the different dates that are of use on an investment. The original purchase, the purchase date here. This would be the original purchase date. If it's a renewable, you would see the renewal date here every time it renews. Maturity date and the term. Here I have an interest snapshot. I can either track daily interest or just monthly interest. It's completely up to you. And I can see my accrual, any type of adjustments I've made, as well as receipts and capitalizations. Down here we would have penalty information if you charge a penalty. And then here in this section we see again that thing where we say whether interest is capitalized or paid and how it's paid. Then a snapshot of your last payment dates. Now if you need to have changing interest, we again have an interest schedule. And here you can see you can change the interest, you can change the term, you can change whether it goes from paid to capitalized or donated, as well as the maturity date. All of that information is available here in the interest schedule. From this screen, you also have the option to cash in an investment. So if you're redeeming all or part of an investment, you can come in here and it will calculate your interest up to date and handle any cash-ins. If you're rolling over an investment, say you have a CD and you want to roll it over into another CD, you can come in here and do that. You can even select it if you want to be paid for a portion, you can do that and it'll handle it. We have some of the similar things you've seen, totals, to see all of the different totals for each individual items. If it's renewed and you have to unrenew it, you can reverse that. And we again have the ownership here as well. On the accounting information tab, you can see whether it's a receivable or payable and the customer information and currency. You can put in the GL accounts for different transactions if you want to take it down to the investment. The other information, we're adding custom fields, and we hope to have that here in the future. To process a transaction in the investment system, you simply go to Investment Transactions. Here you would select your investment, which mine is the last one. If you want to look at previous transactions, you can look them up. Okay, I'm just going to select one that I did previously. You have your period to post. If this is information that you've done in accounts payable, you can pull the data from accounts payable. So that is available. If you're using our deposit system and the cash has come in and you put it on one of our deposit slips, it can pull there. You simply select your transaction type from a lookup, put in the information, and all of the accounts and everything will default based on what you've set up in the system. Now, if this is a sale and it is a share tracked investment, you can process share layers or manually enter the layers you want to sell, and it will track that information so it can tell you exactly what layers are sold, as well as calculate sorry, just a second here. Calculate the gain or loss. Here also, once it is posted, you will be able to see the posting batches. Now, within the system, you also have the option of generating AP vouchers. So if you're going to be paying someone a check for interest, you can load this information and you can see all the information that needs to be paid. You can adjust things as a principal and interest, and if you process this, it will create vouchers in accounts payable for you. Here you can also calculate interest. Again, interest can be run nightly on your server if you want. You simply key in the period that you want to be able to post and load the information. You can recalculate the interest. In this system, interest is not finalized until you finalize it, and it generates, at that point, it gets a real reference number. You can calculate commission for advisors. You can amortize premium or discount. If you like, you can track market value on your investments. Simply select the investment, key in the market value here, either the share price or the total value. If you have a file of market values for all your investments, you can import that. That's a nice way to be able to do that. You can also calculate your currency gain or loss here within this system. This allows you to be able to track currency gains or losses. When it's time to post information to the GL, you would simply go here to the Post to the GL, key in your period, and begin posting. If for some reason you've forgotten transactions and you want everything in one batch, or you need to reverse it, you can do the reset posting and delete the batch in GL, and it will then reset the posting here in investments. If it is a stock and you have made an error in selecting layers, say you are manually selecting layers, you can come into the cost adjustment screen. Here you can do purchase and sales adjustments. You simply select the investment and the adjustment you want to adjust, and it will automatically back out and correct all the different layers for you, so you don't have to go in and manually do that. Now, within this system, we have several different reports. Again, we would be happy to send you a copy of the manual. I'm just going to give you a brief description of them, and then we'll take questions. Advisor daily detail commission and advisor transactions. Those would give you transactions if you're paying commission. Cash projections. This allows you to say how much cash you should be having coming in based on interest as well as investment redemptions. Client listing. This links to the Client Hub to allow you to get a listing of the different individuals there. For transactions, you can print confirmation or investment letters. So if you're dealing with individuals investing with you, you can use those. Commission letters, same thing. You would be able to print letters for that. If you do decide to use the daily interest, you can look at that information. There's a report here that you can get to see the night, if the interest is run at night, what was accrued or capitalized. Interest income for accrual-based individuals. An interest trial balance. This gives you your accrued balance or your receivable balance. Batch reports. Again, some other different investment letters. Investment terms, this shows you your investments by terms. Endowment or pledges, so if you've had to pledge your investment for a particular things, you can get a listing of those. Gain, loss, and tax lot, those have to do with your shares tracking to show you the tax lots for all your shares and your calculated gain and loss. Cost adjustments, if you've had to do any. Investment holdings gives you a snapshot of your current holdings. Acquisitions gives you any purchases. A transaction report, this is a detailed transaction report. Investment trial balance, we have several different formats here. This allows you to see a trial balance snapshot of your investment and is useful for tying it to the ledger. Statements, investment listings. Investment sizes, you can set up several different size categories and the system will automatically put your investments in the proper category so you can be able to see that. Investments, sorry about that, investments maturing. This will give you a list as well as an aging. New purchases and new accounts, so if someone had, this was the first time they invested with you, you would be able to see that, as well as new clients. Market value listings that show you basically what market values you've imported. An interest summary shows you just your principal and interest on one report. Summary report is just another format that gives you a different version of your investments. 1098, interest summary. This gives you just summary totals of interest. Investment listing by types. If you want to see, you know, which ones are bonds, which ones were stocks, you could be able to see that. And then a commitment report. You can actually use commitment transactions that don't post to the GL if you've committed to buy investments, and that's useful for budgeting, etc. And then, of course, we have all the different code reports as well. So many of the same code reports you saw in the loan system. So at this time, if anybody has any questions, please type them in the chat box, and Valerie will read them for all of us, and then we'll be happy to answer them.
While we're waiting for people to answer questions, I just want everybody to know each of these modules are $32.95 plus a 19% maintenance plan for the first year and 17% after that. If you have questions or would like to hear more about them, you can contact your Microsoft partner directly, or you can email us here at sales@plumblineconsulting.com. You'll receive an email from me after the webinar is over, again with the recorded webinar as well as the user guides for both of these products. So with that, if we don't have any questions, which I don't see any questions in the questions or in the chat, so with that I'm going to stop recording the webinar And